Hey there, I'm Louie, and I'm going to be showing you how to turn your little Amigurumi characters into finger puppets. So this is a little Amigurumi version of me that I made with a bow tie for a project I'm working on. And yeah, so originally when I was making my finger puppets, I was just leaving it open on the bottom, just wide enough for my finger to fit in. But I realized that the stuffing was falling out. I could feel the eyes on the back, and they were a little annoying, and I could feel all the loose threads. So I wanted to make a new method so that the stuffing and stuff wouldn't fall out, it wouldn't come apart. So that's where this method came in. So for this process, you're going to need to be working from top to bottom, not from bottom to top. So if I started on the bottom and was working my way up, this probably wouldn't work. You'd have to be working from the top to the bottom, but you could figure out a way to do it. So let me show you on a piece that I'm just about finished up with. So here I have a little vampire from my Halloween collection. Link in the description if you are curious. And I'm just about closed up. So if I were to close this up like normal, like let me show you the Frankenstein right here. If I were to close it up like normal, I would just be decreasing in each stitch around and then sewing it together. So I have 12 stitches around right now for the second to the last round. You want to get down to 12 stitches, regardless of what you're making. Get down to 12 stitches before you start this technique. So normally I'd be decreasing in each stitch around, stuffing it, sewing it closed, like this. But for this process, we actually want to kind of make it go out really far and then stuff it back in. And you want to make just the right amount of decreases before you do that. So let me show you how to do that. Grab our crochet hook. So for this pattern, you want to work in the round as well. So I'm working in the round here. Now, first thing to know is for the first round of making the finger puppet edition, you want to be working only in the back loops, meaning the loops furthest away from you. So let me grab a needle. So you want to, only for the first round, again, you want to work only in these back loops right here. And this is because it'll make it easier to stuff it in at the end. I was doing it working in both loops for a while, but it was so difficult to stuff in that I realized that just working in the back loops would suffice. So working in the back loops only, you want to single crochet in the first two, single crochet 2, 1, see how I'm only working in that back loop, 2, and then you want to decrease. Now I'm doing a sharp decrease. It's basically a slip stitch 2 together. This is so it closes it in really fast. So to do that, I pull a loop through, and then I go into the next stitch, pull another loop through, and I pull that second loop through the 2 on the hook. That's what I call a sharp decrease. So you want to repeat that process 3 times total. This will bring you down from 12 stitches to 9 stitches. So again, that repeat is 2 single crochets and then 1 decrease, 3 times total. So let's do it again. 2 single crochets, and then a decrease. All right, one more time, because you want 3 times total. Let me flip his cape open, make it easier to see. One, 2, and a decrease right here. Okay, so that's going to be the first round for making your finger puppet edition. So for rounds 2, for 3 more rounds total, so rounds 2, 3, and 4, you want to just do a single crochet into each stitch around, and you can work into both loops now. So let's go into this is our first stitch right here. You can work into both loops. You don't need to work only in the front loops or the back loops or whatever. work in both loops, and just do a single crochet in each stitch around. And again, there should be 9 stitches total. And I would crochet this round kind of tight for the next 3 rounds. Not like crazy tight. You don't need to like hurt yourself. Just if you can control your tightness of your stitches, try to make it a little bit on the tighter end. This will make it better so that it grips onto your finger a little bit better. So I'll go ahead and finish these 3 rounds of single crochets. And I'll be right back.
This video is brought to you by Club Crochet, a club made specifically for hookers. It offers new weekly patterns and projects, including full video tutorials, monthly kits with all the materials needed mailed directly to your door, classes and groups made to learn new techniques and make new friends, and more. Plans start at only $5 a month. Get hooked at clubcrochet.com.
All right, so I'm just about done here. Now, I want to mention a couple things before I continue. If you want to make this a little bit longer, that's totally an option. You can make it a little bit longer for it to go further down on the finger. Right now, it'll probably just get to my first knuckle. But yeah, if you made it a little bit longer, you can go further and further up. And also, if you have really big fingers, you might want to go a little bit looser than tight, like I was saying prior. Okay, so before I do our last round for our finger puppet edition and show you how to stuff it in, we need to add our stuffing. So an important thing to know here is you don't want to add too much stuffing or else it's going to be he's going to get way too like bloated. So grab our stuffing and grab a pencil for stuffing it in. And this might be enough. We can probably do actually a little bit more. But you want it a little bit you want it to be a little bit understuffed, because you're going to stuff it in with this piece as well. So you don't want to stuff it too much. All right. So we could probably do a little bit more than that. And these are great for like little finger puppet shows. I think I've written like 3 finger puppet stories that I'm going to try to turn into videos on my channel here on Louie's Loops soon. Let's see. Actually, that's probably okay. Well, let's do just a little bit more. And you want to try to make sure, and we'll be doing this in a second, but you want to try to make sure there's stuffing on in every part. It's not just all stuffed in the head. He's a little loose, but that's okay for right now. So for this last round for the finger puppet, you want to do a single crochet into the first, and then a decrease into the next. And again, we're working in both loops. And remember how I said the decrease, not like an invisible decrease, just a sharp decrease. And you want to repeat that process 3 times total. This will bring you down from 9 stitches to 6 stitches, which should be, that's kind of where we were trying to get to if we weren't making the finger puppet. You know, I would decrease in each stitch down to 6. So I tried to get back down to my 6 stitches. I think I just rambled a bit. That might have been confusing, so just ignore me. So yeah, we're doing a single crochet in the first and a decrease in the next, repeating 3 times total. One more. Okay. And how I do that, by the way, is I kind of pinch it. It makes it a little easier to work into. Okay, so now that it's sufficiently a tiny little end, you can cut We can cut the end. You want to leave a somewhat long end, but not too long. Just, that's probably good. And just pull it all the way through. And then we will sew it together. So if you don't know how to sew things together, or closed rather, I'll show you that really quick. So if we look at the top of our piece here, and we count over, here's our, what I call our 0 stitch. This is our last stitch from the round before the last round. We'll be using this round, or this stitch as well. But counting over from that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 is going to be the last stitch that we just made. And this stitch prior, I'm going to call 0. So to sew together, I count up to 3. So 1, 2, 3, and I go in through the top and out through our 0. And I made a video on this that is way more in depth and way slower down. So I'll probably put a link somewhere on here or something. Now I want to go in through the top of 4 and out through 1. Pull it a little tight now. And then I want to go in through the top of 5, out through 2. See how I'm just kind of like making an asterisk. And then finally go through our last stitch right there, 6. And you want to go all the way up to the top, or really anywhere just that's straight ahead of it. So because my characters are so tiny, I can get up through the top. But you could do this on a bigger thing, as long as you're going straight up to pull it in. Okay, now comes the most difficult part for this, is stuffing this back into him. So the best way that I found to do it is you kind of like do this, like think of like mandibles on an insect, kind of like picking it. And you kind of want to just start from where that where our finger puppet part starts, and you kind of want to start pinching him and stuffing in as you do it, and turning it. And then when it gets like sufficiently in like that, you just kind of like do it with one finger, and you just want to make sure that it's all stuffed in there. Don't worry about messing them up too much right now. We'll fix that. See how I'm kind of like pinching? Okay, and it's fully stuffed in now. Now I'll pull the top to make sure it's all the way in there, and then go in and try to move the stuffing over so that it's equally distributed within it. So this is all done with feel, so I can like feel me moving the stuffing further down, because you want a good amount of stuffing on the inside. I could have stuffed this guy a little bit more probably. All right. Okay. And we'll pull that up again. We can cut the end here. So it's disappeared. Put his cape down and just make sure he's all right. There we go. And there you go, a little finger puppet. So again, like I was saying, this is part of my Halloween collection. So I'll show you the other ones here. We got a werewolf, zombie, a witch, a Frankenstein. I mean, I got a bunch. I got a little bat, like also a finger puppet, a little tiny finger puppet. Now a vampire and a little ghost. Yeah. So thanks for watching. If you want to get this little booklet of patterns, they're available on my site that I made called Club Crochet. There should be a link in the description below. But they're also available to purchase as an ebook in my Etsy store and Ravelry and stuff. So yeah, check it out there. Thanks for watching. Happy hooking and pasta la pizza. Bye.